What's going on, y'all? This be your boy Scotty by Nature TV, and I got my boy here, Alex Salter TV, and we're here to see who was wrong. And on today's Who Was Wrong, we're here to see who was wrong on Basketball Wives with this. I'm gonna say I'm gonna use Alex's words here when we first talked about this iconic feud that was on Basketball Wives between these two titans and these two fire signs. Tami is an Aries, Evelyn is a Sagittarius.
Child.
Tami versus Evelyn. Okay, they have been feuding since the beginning of time, from the moment Tami Roman stepped foot on Basketball Wives on season 2. They have had this Ike and Tina type of relationship from the very beginning. And I'm ready to discuss this. Are you ready to discuss it?
I'm ready.
Okay. So we're gonna start off from the very beginning all the way to the end because it's a lot to unpack with this. So
Right.
when we first met Tami Roman, she was coming from a humble beginning. I think she was going through some financial issues. She had divorced Kenny. She didn't get anything out of the divorce. She was on
Right.
public assistance and all of that stuff. Shawnee introduced her to Jennifer and Evelyn as her friend from way back when, and we could never forget the very first interaction. Tami came in with a busted out wig and a fanny pack, looking like she just came back from the corner store. And she sat down at this fancy restaurant with them. And Evelyn was already judging from the very beginning. She was basically saying it's the weave, the nails,
Right.
the fanny pack. I don't know if I'm feeling her right now. So Evelyn had already judged Tami from the moment she met her. So I'm gonna stop it right here and ask Alex, what went through your mind when they first met? Did you feel like Evelyn was judging Tami from the moment she met her, or do you think it was an over exaggeration with people feeling like she judged Tami from the moment she met her?
I actually like Evelyn, but she was definitely judging Tammy, and I think that it doesn't extend just to Tammy. I think she did it with pretty much everyone who joined the cast. She always has some judgmental things to say. I
Mm-hmm.
think with Tammy though, I feel like Tammy was an easier target because she did have that wig, she had the fanny pack, so it just made it easy for Evelyn to say some things about her. But to be fair, I mean, they all looked a mess back then. I don't even looking back at it now. I'm like, child, their makeup, the little thin eyebrows, like that was like the thing back then. They all looked a mess. But I mean, I guess the time it was what they looked like. Well, I guess was in at the time, but they all looked a mess. But Evan was definitely judging Tammy as soon as she met her. That's Shawnee's fault. Shawnee, come on, girl, you can't be having your friend come on here on a whole TV show at a fancy restaurant looking like that. Come on, especially because you know how Evelyn is. She gonna talk shit the minute she sees Tammy. And that's exactly what she did. She was wrong for that.
Okay. So I want to say maybe a little bit after this, I know that Tammy had gotten into this altercation with Jennifer. Jennifer has nothing to do with this topic, but she got into the altercation with Jennifer. And then I want to say a little bit on down the line towards the end, Tammy and Evelyn had clashed on that girls' trip that they had because they didn't really have any issues per se
Right.
at the beginning. It was just that Evelyn was judging, Tammy, behind her back about the way she dressed, the way she looked. And so it really wasn't no big
Right.
issue at the time. Because really the only person that Tammy was really having an issue with was Jennifer because she didn't know what a food stamp looked like. So
Right.
then when they got to Madrid on that trip, that's when they kind of butted heads. Tammy accused Evelyn of calling her, making faces, talking about her behind her back. Evelyn said that if I had something to say on my mind, I would have said it, you insecure biatch. And then Tammy said, well, I ain't got no reason to be insecure and all of this other stuff. So then this is the part where I started calling Shawnee out on her mess because I was reviewing these shows even back then. And I was like, Shawnee is messy because Shawnee was telling Tammy everything that Evelyn said about her. And they came back together and they pretty much confronted each other about it, but they made amends. So I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna stop right here as well. So we're in Madrid, and Tammy feels as though Evelyn is making faces, Evelyn making comments about her, Evelyn is talking about her. But Evelyn says that Tammy is insecure. Ain't nobody said nothing about her. She's looking for a moment. Do you think at that time Tammy was looking for a moment? Do you think that Tammy was being insecure? Or do you think that Evelyn gave Tammy a reason to feel like she was talking about her?
I mean, first off, Evelyn was definitely making faces and she was definitely talking about Tammy. So I don't know why she felt like she wasn't. I mean, you have Shawnee literally telling Tammy everything that you're saying about her. So it's not like Tammy was wrong for feeling the way she felt. And to be fair to Tammy, like Tammy had no issues with Evelyn. She liked Evelyn, like all up until they were being she found out Evelyn was being shaded. They seemed like they were cool. It was really Evelyn being shaded since the minute she met Tammy. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
Tammy was being insecure at all. I think if someone's telling you that, hey, my friend Evelyn is talking about you. She's saying these things. I mean, anyone I feel would feel some type of way about it. I don't think
Right.
she was looking for a moment at all. I think Evelyn was being messy and shady. And Shawnee is not even any better. Shawnee, like, I feel like people give Shawnee a pass because she's kind of like the producer. She plays a producer role. Like, she's always kind of like in the background, but she's the one stirring up all the mess. People be forgetting about her because it's usually Evelyn and Tammy going at it because they have the bigger personalities. But Shawnee just as messy. Let's be real.
She is. Oh my God, she is. And people don't see that. They just gloss right on over it. They don't
Right.
see it. So I've been saying that from the very beginning. I've been pulling Shawnee's card. I've been pulling. Okay, so they got cool again, but then it was time for the season finale, and it was Jennifer's birthday dinner. And this is the altercation heard all around the world. So Tammy was sitting there giving this whole deep spiel about how grateful she was to them and how she hadn't had no girlfriends. And Shawnee brought her into a situation where she felt accepted and things of that nature. And she felt the bond with these women. After she walked away, Evelyn said to Shawnee, I have a secret and I don't know when to tell Tammy, but I dated Kenny back in the day, a few years ago. Shawnee was like, oh my God. Then she looked at Evelyn and said, I think you should go and talk to Tammy. And then Evelyn was like, now? Yes,
Right.
now. And then she was like, oh, okay. In that moment, I felt like Shawnee knew that this was reality TV gold. And I'm finna tell her to go out there and she's gonna tell this woman that she slept with her husband. And this is gonna be great for TV. Like, this is gonna be a great moment. We're gonna get this out here. This is gonna be amazing. Jennifer was like, at my birthday party,
Right.
like I knew that um I knew about Evelyn and Kenny, but it's none of my business. As honestly, if it was my best friend, and like say for instance, if it was you and you told me that you slept with someone, I ain't saying nothing. You my friend, Alex. So I'm not gonna say. And this is not even just because I'm even saying this because we have known each other for a short amount of time, and we have a pretty decent friendship now. So I see you as a friend, and we still have a ways to go in our relationship. But still, in
Right.
all, if you told me something in confidence, I'm not gonna say anything. Like it's a done deal. Like nobody gonna know nothing. So with that being
Right.
said, Jennifer didn't say anything because Evelyn was her friend. So they get outside. Evelyn, Tammy's smoking her cigarette, and she said, "I had to unwind after talking to the girls, and Shawnee and Evelyn and Jennifer, they come outside, and I'm looking like blah blah blah." So Evelyn was like, "I have something that I need to tell you," and then Tammy was like, "What's going on?" And she had the cigarette in her hand, and Evelyn was like, "In about 1999, me and Kenny went on a few dates." The first thing that Tammy said, "Did you fuck him?" Evelyn said, "Yes, I'm not gonna lie, twice." And then Tammy said, "You just made me look stupid out there. Like you just made me look stupid." And then, you telling me that you fucked my man while I was married to him. Evelyn said, "I didn't know that you was married to him." And so she said, "It's bitches out there that knows that a man is married and they still mess with him. And then Evelyn was like, yes, and I've been there. And then Tammy was like, then you should understand how the fuck I feel. And so it's like as they continue to talk, Jennifer was like, oh, this is just bad. This is just bad. And then Tammy was like, what happened? So after that, I feel like Evelyn was getting frustrated.
Yeah.
And so she was like, at the end of the day, that N word fucked everybody. So I mean, blah 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 blah. And then Tammy was explaining herself, but see, you ain't never been in the same vicinity as the girls that Antoine slept with. Like we trying to be friends, we trying to build some shit, and for you to be sitting up in my face, cackling, laughing, that's fucked up to me. And then Evelyn could say was, and you know what? It is what it is. Like
Right.
she was very nonchalant about it as Tammy was telling her about it. So Tammy was like, "No, you are missing the point of what the fuck I'm saying." And then Evelyn was like, "No, you missing the point of what the fuck I'm saying. You are a non-motherfucking factor, bitch." And Tammy was like, "Bitch, fuck you." And in that moment, that's what really kicked it off, Tammy versus Evelyn. Now we're gonna stop right here too.
Right.
Now, what was going through your mind? Because I know that was a lot. So, what was going on in your mind at that moment when Evelyn told Tammy that she slept with Kenny? Do you think that she was sincere when she told her, or do you think that she really didn't care?
So it's like a lot of layers to this because number one, Evelyn did not want to tell Tammy in that moment. I don't know if
She
she would
did.
have ever told her, but she definitely didn't want to tell her that day because she was like, "Child, like
Right.
right now." And honestly, I know this is Tammy versus Evelyn, but like this is really Shawnee's fault because why are you telling your friend to go break the news to Tammy when you just seen Tammy was emotional, telling all the girls like everything she's been through, and you want her to go over there and tell her that she slept with her husband, like her ex husband at the time, but why would you do that? So I don't think Evelyn was really sincere because I don't think she really wanted to do it there anyways. I feel like if you're gonna have a conversation like that, you guys need to be first of all, it needs to be private because why are we telling all this business in front of a whole group of people? Tammy's
Mm-hmm.
already upset about something else, and you won't go to her with two other people and talking about, yeah, I slept with your ex. Like it just wasn't gonna turn out well no matter which way she did. But I definitely don't think she should have done it that night. So no, I don't think Evelyn was sincere with it. I don't think Evelyn really cared that much. Just the way when they're going back and forth, Evelyn was just like, "Child, like, why are we even fucking talking about this? Like, you guys are divorced. Why does it fucking matter anymore?" I feel like that's what Evelyn was feeling. But on Tammy's side, she was like, "Well, you don't understand. Like, we're supposed to be friends. Why would you not tell me this like when we met? Like, why am I just now hearing about it today?" And again,
Right.
Tammy's already fucking upset. Like, that's just gonna make her more mad. So I'm like, "Child, this all Shawnee's fault. It really is."
It
Now,
really is her fault. It is because she wanted a moment. Like she wanted
yeah,
this
she
to
want
be a big moment. And it became just what that was, a big moment. That's what it
it was.
became.
I mean, props to Shawnee because that was iconic, and that set up a whole like rivalry throughout all the years. Even till now, they still don't like each other. So like, I mean, I guess I got to give Shawnee her props, but come on, if Tammy's your friend and Evelyn's your friend, why you want them beefing, child? I don't know, but when it got to the point of Evelyn, she's like a non-factor and all this, I'm like, Evelyn, girl. Now it was iconic, but Evelyn, girl, you was wrong because I don't
Dead.
call her a non-factor when she was the one married to him. You were like, I don't even think Evelyn and him really dated. I think she was really just a side piece or like a little
Mm-hmm.
fling. Because you tell me you dated him for 6 months, but you guys only had sex twice. It ain't
Right.
adding up to me. I
Like
don't
this
know.
was bam bam, thank you, ma'am, pretty
Ex-
much. Like that's what it was. He was like, okay, I'm gonna hit you up when I want to screw, and because I know you available. I know you will,
exactly.
so that's what
That's
that
all it
was.
was.
Yeah. So we go into season 3. And it's pretty clear that Tammy don't see it for Evelyn. And now Tammy wants to sue Evelyn for defamation because she has the dumb motherfucking factor t-shirts. Now we're gonna just stop it here too because I want to know your thoughts on that. How did you feel about this lawsuit that Tammy was gonna file against Evelyn about the shirts? Do you think that was even necessary?
No, I don't think it was necessary. I think you look at all these reality TV shows, everyone tries to sell merchandise off their iconic moments. I mean, Sheree
Mm-hmm.
had the "Who Gonna Check Me Boo" T-shirt. Like they all do it, and I don't think that this was that serious for her to want to sue her. I mean, it's a T-shirt. They're all gonna profit off what they're doing. I don't know how much money Evelyn had at the time, but maybe she needed some money, so she got to sell some T-shirts. I don't know. I don't know what her pockets were looking like, but maybe she needed some money. Everyone was using that whole non-factor thing. Like I seen so many people back in the day on social media using, "Oh, you're a non-factor. You're a non-factor." So she did a little something with it. Now people don't say that shit no more, but
Yeah, but
back then
back
they definitely were
then
saying that shit.
we was
So
all saying it back then.
exactly,
Even if we didn't like,
exactly,
even if we didn't like Evelyn, we were still saying it back then. So it was just like, yeah, she in a sense like she did the right thing by capitalizing off it because it's something that she said. You know what I
right,
mean? And
right,
I think that Tammy was really just in her feelings because she called her a non-factor in a moment where she told her that she slept with her husband. But at the
right.
same point in time, I don't think that that's a defamation of character. Like she called you
That's
a
not. I mean,
non-factor.
it's not defamation at
That's
all.
not defamation. It's not defamation.
She was in her feelings.
Yeah. So after that, Shawnee brought them together. Um, Evelyn had like 500 non-motherfucking factory t-shirts made, and Shawnee brought the two together to talk about it. And she was like, "Well, I already got 500 made." And then Tammy was like, "Okay, let's come to a common ground here. How about you sell those and then don't make any more?" And I was just like, "But how you gonna tell?" Okay, but I guess that was a common ground. I guess that was a middle ground that they had. So it's kind of like, okay, okay, I sell these, but I ain't gonna make no more. I don't want to rock the boat. Okay. So at this particular moment, Tammy and Evelyn are cool now. Like they're actually pretty decent now. Then when you go into season 4, they're still pretty decent. There's no beef between them because at this point, Evelyn has fallen out with Jennifer. So now her main focus is getting at Jennifer. Her and Tammy are pretty cool at this point. All throughout season 4, Tammy and Evelyn did not have a problem.
Right,
Going into season 5, they definitely didn't have a problem up until that. And most people don't even remember season 5 of Basketball Wives Miami because it was just that boring. But they had a moment one time in season 5 because Tammy and Shawnee had an issue. They were talking at the table. I think Evelyn called Tammy a bitch, and
yeah,
Tammy was like, "Fuck 10, put your hand up again, put your hand up again." Then she snatched the spoon out of her hand and told her to put her hand up again, and Evelyn didn't put her hand up. But I guess that's really not a vocal point, really, because they was over it the next
right.
episode. It was just like it never happened. So at this point, we get into Basketball Wives LA, and it's season 6, and we bring Evelyn back. At this point, they're back feuding again. And Evelyn is like mad because Tammy told the world that she slept with a married man. Evelyn
Right,
does not feel, I mean, Tammy does not feel like she told the world that she slept with a married man. She put it out on her own accord. And now they're beefing about it. And at this point, it was kind of like, okay, I thought y'all already solved this situation and
right. That's how I
y'all
was
were
feeling.
cool for a couple of years, and now all of a sudden y'all beefing again. Like, and I think Evelyn's whole thing is about a timeline. She was trying to prove this timeline and trying to say, well, this is what happened, and this is what didn't happen, and this is what happened, and this is what happened, and I didn't sleep with him, and I didn't do this, and I didn't do that. And so it was kind of like Tammy didn't care about a timeline. Her
Right,
whole thing was you still slept with my husband around 99 when I was still married to him. And then
right,
she said, but you filed for divorce in 98. She probably filed for divorce in 98, but she was still married in 99. So it
right.
don't matter. You still slept with someone's husband. So my thing is, how did you feel coming into season 6 and they're beefing again over this ancient ass shit? That's like
I ain't gonna lie.
7 years old at this point.
I think this is like the one time where I actually side with Evelyn on this because aside from the
Mhm.
whole timeline thing, I don't care about that. I mean, you slept with him. It is what it is. You did it.
Right.
I felt like watching this, it was like it seemed like Tammy was one who had the issue with Evelyn. I didn't understand. Like Evelyn was like I thought we can be cool. Like what's wrong? And Tammy's like, well, no, because all the other things that we still have to work out. I'm like, child, y'all worked that shit out a long time ago, or I thought you guys did. So why are we still talking about this? Like,
Right.
it's either you're gonna move on and accept that she slept with your husband at the time or ex-husband, I don't know, or you're not. Like, you can't just keep bringing up old stuff. Like, we're tired at this point. Like we don't
Yeah.
care about this shit no more. If you
We
guys are gonna
don't.
feud over something new, because we don't care about the whole Kenny shit. We really don't. He probably slept with like half of Miami, so it is what it is, right? And Tammy knows. I mean, come on, you're married to someone like that. I mean, they sleep around. I mean, it is what it is. So either you're gonna be friends with her or you're not. Like, stop feuding over the stupid shit. To me, that's how I felt. I'm like, child, can we move on? Can y'all just be friends? Because I love when they're friends. Like, they
Yeah,
give us so many iconic moments when they're actually on good terms. But then when they're feuding, it's like, oh my gosh,
it
it's
becomes
so
very
draining.
draining when they are
Exactly.
feuding. It becomes draining.
Exactly.
So after this, they become cool again, and everything seems to be fine. But then we go into season 7, and they're feuding
Again.
again. I think it was mainly about the fact that Evelyn felt some kind of way about the comment that Tammy made in regards to the Jackie Christie thing at the reunion. So, what's your take on that one? Do you
Um,
think that Evelyn was overdoing it with that?
So I do remember that. So I remember the reunion. Tammy made like a little comment saying something about Evelyn possibly donating to get back on the show or to make like a storyline for the show. And I think Evelyn was offended by that. But I also think I don't know if this was the same season, but I think I forgot what season it was. But Tammy did that comedy show where she made fun of Emily. Like she made a joke about Evelyn, and it got back to Evelyn. Evelyn's like, why is she making jokes about me, saying I'm a hoe and all this stuff? Like I thought we was cool, so why would she make a joke
Mhm.
about me? So
Mhm.
then, so then Evelyn started making jokes about Tammy, like talking about how when they met her, she had like the wig and the fan pat, make fun of the way she walks, and then that turned into a whole feud. So I don't know, like I don't know if Tammy was being shady just because she didn't like Evelyn, or she was just trying to make light of the situation, or just trying to be like I don't know, comedians make jokes like this all the time. So
Right.
I don't know if it was coming from a shady place, so I can't really say if Evelyn was reaching or not because I don't really know if Tammy had good intentions when she was making the jokes. To be honest, I really don't. So I don't know.
Mhm.
I was like, okay. I mean, I can understand Evelyn being a little upset because number one, I don't know if she was invited to the comedy show or not, but she wasn't there. So I don't know. I was just like, child, come on. Like, if it's a joke, take it as a joke and let's move on. We all joke about our friends sometimes. It ain't that serious, but I feel like maybe from Evelyn's side, she felt like, well, maybe me and Tammy aren't really cool like that. If she's gonna be making jokes about me like that behind my back. I don't
Right.
know.
Okay, so let's see. After that, it became a thing where Tammy put it on blast that there was a rumor out that Evelyn slept with Shaquille O'Neal.
Child.
Now let's dive into that really quick. I remember watching it back then, and I felt like Tammy did that to be vindictive. I had felt like she felt some kind of way because Jennifer became friends with Evelyn again. And she decided, okay, y'all want to sit up here and be fake and act like y'all such good friends and things of that nature. But you said, do your girl know that you said this about that? Do
Right.
your girl know about that? And I just felt like that was completely necessary. Like they know that they said shit about each other behind each other's backs. They know this. So at this point, if they're cool again, then why can't we just let them be cool again? If they want to be two fake rabbits together, let them be
Right.
that. Like no one cares. Like why did that have to be a thing? So, what was your take on Tammy exposing that Evelyn allegedly slept with Shaq?
I think there's layers to this one too. So I think that Tammy felt into a way, not necessarily because Jennifer and Evelyn were friends again, but more so because I feel like once Jennifer started being friends with Evelyn, Jennifer started being shady, a little bit more shady towards Tammy. And same with Shawnee. I always felt like Shawnee always took Evelyn's side over Tammy's no matter
She
what. I
did.
feel like Tammy felt that. So I feel like in this moment, she was trying to be vindictive. It wasn't to help Shawnee or expose a rumor for the benefit of anyone. She really was just trying to be messy and break up some friendships because had this rumor actually been true, like had it turned out to be true, we know Evelyn and Sean would not be friends. Period. But the fact that she brought it to the show and then she tried to disguise it as, oh, I'm just trying to let you know, Shawnee, because the rumor's out there and I felt like you should know. Girl, you knew about this a year ago. You could have told Shawnee as soon as you found out. Why would you wait a year to like tell her this? You literally did it in this moment because You and Jennifer ain't really cool like that. You feel like Jennifer's being shady, and you see Jennifer sucking up to Evelyn, and you want to
Mm-hmm.
break that apart. You want to let everyone know Jennifer's fake. She was talking about you, Evelyn, behind your back, saying that you slept with Shaq. And Shawnee, you shouldn't be cool with Jennifer either because look, she's talking behind your back too. Now,
Right.
I feel like a rumor like this though, like I ain't like, I was like, child, because Jennifer, or not Jennifer, Evelyn and Shawnee, I don't really like Shawnee at all, but they've been friends for a very, very long time. I don't like seeing friendships like that like break up over rumors like that. To me, it's like nah, let them be friends. They've been friends for X amount of years. Unless you got some receipts or some facts behind it, there's no point in even saying these. I like that's one thing I hate. Don't bring rumors to me unless you have some receipts behind it. Like I don't want to hear everyone saying, "Oh, well, the rumor is that Alex did this." Okay, are there receipts? If they're not, then don't even bring it up. What's the point? What's the point
Right.
in bringing it up? I felt like she was wrong for that. She really was. And usually I'm on Tammy's side, but this one I'm like, child, no. It wasn't a good look at all.
Okay, so the next thing that happened was after it was revealed that that Evelyn allegedly, I have to keep saying allegedly slept with Shaq. They met up, and then they had this back and forth. Tammy and Evelyn did, and then Tammy said, "Well, you lied on Chad. Y'all, you been fighting that man, and y'all been having issues all along." And then Tammy said that there was a conversation that she had with Evelyn a few years ago, and she said that they had been tussling over condoms, and it wasn't her that called the police. Her neighbors called the police, and blah 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 blah. And if it wasn't for that, she still would be with Chad. So, hmm, what was your thoughts when she said you lied on Chad? Do you think Evelyn really lied on Chad, or do you think Tammy just said that to hurt her?
I mean, I need to see a police report because I don't really know. Because I mean, the police report would say who called the cops. It would say, "Oh, Evelyn or a neighbor called." So I don't really know. I don't know if she's lying or not, but she definitely said that to hurt Evelyn. Now, if someone really busts your fucking forehead like that, and busts it wide open, I don't think you won't get back with them because you won't have to go out in public with that scar, and people will be like, "You still with him? He bust your forehead open." So I don't know if everyone's lying, but like at the same time, I do think Tammy was wrong for saying it, but at the same time my rule is if I'm arguing with someone, you come for me, you say something disrespectful to me, you can't dictate how I respond to you. So I might say fucking anything. I don't know. It might not even be fucking true, but I might just say it to hurt you. It is what it is. That's what happens when you argue with someone, right? You can't control how they respond. So yes, Timmy was technically wrong at the same time. They're in an argument, so they be saying things about each other the whole time, whether it's true
Right.
or not. So I don't know. I don't know if Evelyn lied about Chad. I really don't. I would hope that she didn't, but I mean I don't fucking know at this point. She could have. Who knows? I don't know.
Okay, so after that, Jackie confronted Tammy about what she said, and then Jackie was like, "Well, that hurt Evelyn," and then Tammy said, "I was hurt too. From day one, they have been talking about me. From day one, they have been talking about me. When I was a big bitch, they was talking about me. Ever since I know them girls, they've been talking about me, and all I ever tried to do was be their fucking friend." And so she started crying. And then she said, I've always tried to stick around and be down and support Shawnee, support them bitches, make up, do whatever's necessary. And I'm tired. I'm fucking tired. I think at that particular moment, Tammy knew what it was. I think at that particular moment, Tammy knew that she was never going to be accepted by them. And I think that's something that she always wanted. And I think the reason why she lashed out the way she did is because she genuinely wanted to be friends with them, but they rejected her. It's kind of like high school.
Right.
You're the lonely girl that sits at the cafeteria table by yourself, and because you look the way you do, or you dress the way you do, or you carry yourself the way that you carry yourself, you sit alone, nobody wants to deal with you, but you're over here with the high. Then you see the popular girls, the hot girls sitting at the table, which is Jennifer, Evelyn, and Shawnee, the hot girls sitting over here, and everybody wants to be around them, everybody want to be friends with them. And that's really what happened on this show. Any of the time the new girls come on, they want to be friends with Shawnee and Evelyn and Jennifer. They want to get
Right.
in them. They want to be. It happened with Mika Claxton when she first came in. She wanted to be friends with them. It happened with Kenya and Keisha. They wanted to be friends with them. So it even happened with Tammy. She wanted to be friends with them and was already willing to shut Royce out before she even got to know her. So it was kind of like, you know, it was kind of like Tami was that girl that was sitting at the table by herself, right alongside Royce. Both of them were sitting at the table by themselves. But for whatever reason, the other girls, okay, we gonna take this girl in, we're gonna take Tami in, but we're gonna leave that other girl, Royce, over there by herself, but we're gonna take Tami in. And they used Tami for her strength as their mouthpiece. They had
Right.
Tami doing things for them that she probably never would have done. Tami ostracized other women on their behalf. Tami ostracized Mika on their behalf. Tami ostracized Keisha on their behalf. Tami ostracized Brandy in Malaysia on their behalf. Tami, it was just at this point, Tami knew what it was and she was hurt by it. The only person that she didn't ostracize was OG.
Right.
And that's because she saw OG as the same person as she was when she first came along.
Right.
So, how did you feel about that particular moment when Tami said that to Jackie about how she feels like all them girls have been attacking her from day one and when she broke down about it?
I mean, I agree with her. I mean, we've seen it on Basketball Wives original series. That's exactly what they did. She joined. They were making fun of her behind her back. So she is right in that. But at the same time, like I said earlier, like if you choose to befriend someone after they have been talking about you for X amount of like time, and you still choose to like accept them or accept their apology, you can't just keep festering on this. Like, well, but you 10 years ago they were always talking about. It's like okay, but you shouldn't have been friends with them in the first place. Like
That's true.
you're not gonna catch me being friends with someone who's talking shit about me for no reason, even if they apologize. If I choose to accept their apology and I choose to be friends with them again, I can't hold that over their head for the rest of my life. I can't be like, well, yeah, but you remember when you did this to me 10 years? Like to me, that doesn't work. And to Evelyn's defense, like I said this earlier about how Tammy was at that comedy show making jokes about Evelyn calling her a hoe and all that stuff. I think it was that same season, and I could be wrong, but when Brandy tried to make her way into the group, when she showed up, I think I forgot where they were, but she showed up at dinner because I think
Hmm.
Malaysia invited her. Tammy left because she's like, I don't want to be around this girl. Like I'm leaving. Evelyn followed Tammy. She's like, listen, I got your back. I have no problem with Brandy, but if you don't like her, I don't like her either. She literally was like, I'm gonna be loyal to Tammy because we cool now. So I feel like Evelyn really generally wanted to be cool with Tammy, but I feel like for whatever reason, I don't know what it was. Maybe there were some things happening behind the scenes, but I feel like Tammy was the one trying to get Evelyn out the way. I feel like Evelyn was cool with them being friends. I feel like Tammy was the one who really just I don't know what it was, but I feel like Tammy was a little shady towards Evelyn, and I don't know why. Because I feel like when they're on good terms, they're great. They have a lot of fun together. They seem to like they make jokes with each other, but then for whatever reason, they just can't maintain it, and I don't understand why. It just doesn't make sense to me.
That's an interesting point. So, because I know we're about to end this in a minute, because at this
Yeah,
point, that was pretty much the gist of that situation. Because by season 8, they didn't even film together anymore. So there's really nothing else to unpack when it comes down to that. All we do know is that at the last reunion that they did together, Tam accused Evelyn of going to executives behind her back, speaking on her health and things of that nature. So, so to close this thing off, I'm going to go back to your point that you just made. You feel like Tami was trying to get Evelyn out of the way. So do you think that Tami, why would she want to get Evelyn out of the way? Do you think she would want to get Evelyn out of the way for for a spot, so to speak, or like the loyalty in the relationship that Evelyn got with Shawnee? Do you think that Tami wanted that particular loyalty in relationship with the same person, but she felt that she would never have it if Evelyn is around? Do you think that's the reason why she wanted her out of the way?
I actually do think that's the reason because when I go back to Basketball LA when Tammy rejoined the cast, Evan wasn't on there at first. Tammy and Shawnee were like this, like they were like two peas in the pod. Tammy was Shawnee's number one, but then as soon as Evelyn came back, it was like Tammy, you're gonna be like the third in line. It's gonna be me, Evelyn, and then you. And I feel like Tammy felt like I saw it as a viewer. I'm like, clearly Shawnee cares more about Evelyn than she does about Tammy because even this reunion, I think this is the one where Evan was like, yeah, Tammy was lying about being able to have kids or something like that. And she's like, yeah, you know, she sent me and Shawnee or text. I forgot exactly what she said, but Shawnee was somehow involved. And when Tammy was like, oh, did I tell you that, Shawnee? And Shawnee was like, oh, I can't remember. Girl, you remember. If someone told you that, you would remember. Don't say I don't remember. It's either a yes or a no. So that
Hmm.
moment told me Shawnee didn't want to like she didn't want to choose sides. At the same time, when you don't choose sides in some situations, you're choosing a side because you could have said, "Nah, that never happened." But she was like, "No, I don't really remember that. I don't remember every conversation." I feel like Tim was like, "All right, I see what it is now. You really don't fuck with me like that. You fuck with Evelyn, and it is. I mean, it's clear
Hmm.
as day." So I do think that once Evelyn rejoined the cast, she saw that Shawnee really wasn't loyal to her like she thought she was. Like Tammy had been riding for Shawnee the whole time. Like when Shawnee was having those issues with Brandy, Tammy was by Shawnee's side, but she didn't get the same loyalty in return. And I feel like
At
she felt some
all.
type of way. And I would too. I ain't gonna lie, I would too. So
Okay, so the final question is overall, who was wrong? Was it Tammy? Was it Evelyn? Or was it a draw?
um I think it's a draw. I think both
Yeah.
are wrong in certain situations. But overall, I think Shawnee was wrong. It
Ah!
all turns back to Shawnee. I don't know why, but all roads lead to Shawnee, and she's wrong. Period.
So you think that Shawnee is the one who broke them apart?
I do. I think Shawnee did not keep that same energy with Tammy like she did for Evelyn, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
like if you're gonna be friends with both of them, you should show them this both the same type of loyalty. Especially because I feel like Shawnee and Tammy have been friends for a long time now. Maybe Shawnee and Evelyn have been friends for longer. I don't know, but that shouldn't matter. Like you should, if you're cool with both of them, you gotta show loyalty across the board. You can't be like, well, I'm gonna show Evan a little bit more than I show you. Like to me, that's dumb. It's corny. Like because when Evelyn was around, you were literally right there with Tammy the whole time. But as soon as Evelyn came back, you're like, well, I like Evelyn a little bit better, so I'm gonna be over here with her, and that's corny to me. So I don't know.
All right then. Well, this actually was fun.
It
This was a fun
was.
thing. This is a fun thing. First of all, before we go, Alex, let the people know where they can find you and what they can look forward to when they find you on your channel.
Yeah, so I have a channel, Alex Ultra TV, like my name on here. Instagram, Twitter is the same. I do recaps of Real Housewives. I'm actually doing a video. I'm trying to do more pop culture video because there's a lot going on. After
Yes, it
this video,
is.
I'm doing a video on Will Smith and Chris Rock. Really about to go live in a second. There's a lot of things on my channel. I did an interview with Robin, Chris Bassett. So there's a lot of things for everyone. I'm trying to do more pop culture stuff, but mainly it's Real Housewives. So if you like Real Housewives, child, definitely go check me out because I do a lot of videos on that shit. Like I be going in, especially my live streams. You don't want to miss those because they're chaotic.
They are. I've been a part of some of them. They are. But however, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Alex, for participating. And I can't wait to do something. I'm pretty sure we're gonna do something else together
Yeah,
soon.
we will. We will.
But thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And this was another episode of Who Was Wrong. Thank you all.